going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your host, the smoothest fingers in the gaming industry, bringing you back another video. Hope you're having a wonderful, God-given, blessed, heavenly filled day, even though we're playing a game that's probably not the best example of that. Always got to make sure Yeshua Saves is getting the message out, and we continue to talk about that because that's what we do on the channel. 101 million, Yeshua Saves, God is blessful, and God is the blessing. All right, moving on. I wanted to talk to you guys about something that came out yesterday because you're seeing this on the 15th, and this news broke on the 14th. Today is a Tuesday, and yesterday is a Monday. Didn't have to break that down to you. Just wanted to let you guys know because I seen that, and I wanted to talk about it just a little bit because it's a big topic in the Cyberpunk community right now, which is what I'm a part of now because I make Cyberpunk videos, and most of you guys come to this channel for Cyberpunk. But I wanted to talk about this because it is major, and it is something that you guys want to talk about. Trust me, I've heard a lot of the console rumors, not even just rumors, but I've heard a lot of console players coming to me talking about not only rumors, but confirmation as well about just bad gameplay, stuttering, issues, frame rates, and just so much more. But at the same time, I wanted to tell you guys that I'm having issues as well, and that you're not alone. I have a mid to high-end PC. I would even say low at this point because the 30s are out, and I mean, I'm at the 10s still, so I'm 2 generations behind on the graphic card. So I completely understand how shit this game runs. However, I said this when the game was coming out, before the game came out, and even in my patient impressions when I was kind of quote-unquote reviewing it, you know, just again, impressions, not a review, but you get what I'm saying here, that this game was going to be buggy. And I'm not sitting here excusing what they did to the PlayStation 4 owners and the Xbox owners. I'm not at all saying that that was justified at any way. They knew before the game came out that they should have released console gameplay. And even though they released a little bit of it, it was nowhere near what they should have dropped, especially during the review cycle. But I'm not here to beat a dead horse. Everybody's beating this dead horse. And I just want to talk about what's going on, not only with me and the bugs and the glitches, but just my opinions personally on them, at the same time maintaining an objective viewpoint with them. So again, I just want to make this very, very clear. This game is very buggy. I know this. I don't need people spamming me in the comment section saying I don't know this and that I don't play it. I see it. I've watched it. I understand that. However, guys, if you guys were familiar with Skyrim when Skyrim came out, some of you aren't old enough to know this, but if you were fortunate enough, blessed enough to have played Skyrim back in the day, and you're old enough to remember that, and you don't have short-term memory loss, for some reason gamers have this, you understand Skyrim was one of the buggiest games to ever launch. I would argue that it's buggier than this game. I don't know if you guys remember the PlayStation 3 version of this. I bought that on the PlayStation 3. I was highly disappointed. However, I still had a lot of fun with the game because I understand that games can be patched. Now, Bethesda doesn't have a good track record of patching their games. Unfortunately, I had to move to the PC edition, or I tried to play it on the PC, to enjoy Skyrim in the best way, shape, or form, which was not until 3-4 years later. Now, I'm not saying you don't have to play this game for 3-4 years with Cyberpunk, but I'm saying that sometimes is an option, and I had to suck it up and realize, look, man, I just have to move on. As a mid to low grade PC runner, I would understand that, yo, if this game just doesn't work well on my software, like a Crysis 3, I really don't get upset about it because I'm just knowing that I eventually may have to upgrade, or I'm going to have to find another way to play the game. And I'm not saying, again, that you're going to have to do that. I'm just saying, if you understand those premises and understand how dated this software and this hardware is on the PS4 and the Xbox One, you will come to grips with it quicker than somebody who's just in denial about it. And I understand, man, a lot of people are going to say, yo, there's a pandemic, yo, there's this, yo, there's this. But I'm a firm believer that God can bless anybody who puts their mind to something and truly believes in him. For sure. Even if you mess up, even if you're a sinner, you can be forgiven. No matter how much times you sin, he will be there for you. And again, I'm not trying to give you guys a Bible message all the time, but that is incorporated into my channel. And if you're not familiar with that, well, please get familiar with it. And that's what I want to say here is you see a lot of gamers, they're in fear, they're in tumult, they're in anger, and that's just how they live. That's how a lot of people in this world live. That's how the world operates, and we're not called to be that way, especially on this channel, especially how I'm living. I'm looking for optimism. I'm looking for a lot of faith. I'm looking for a lot of promise. I'm looking for things to enjoy in this life because there's not a lot of things to grab onto to enjoy other than like sometimes, you know what I mean? I mean, the last year of games, you can even see the last 2 years of games, we've only gotten about 2 or 3 really great games, really good to great games. I would argue this year the only great games that we got was Ghost of Tsushima, Doom Eternal, and Cyberpunk. And that just depends on what kind of games you're into. If you're a gamer like me who likes to be well-rounded and play different games, then you'll enjoy other things. And that's what I'm saying with Cyberpunk, is that underneath all the bugs and glitches, which a lot of RPGs launch with, almost every RPG launches with these problems, there is a great game and a great story, and that's more important because you can't fix the game's story, you can't fix the game's narrative, and you can't fix the game's world building, but you can patch glitches, You can patch bugs and you can patch little interactive things into the game later. Now, I know people are going to say, but we can't excuse this. We can't keep allowing developers to put out half-ass games. And I get that. I completely get that. I had a whole rant last year with Modern Warfare coming out buggy, half-ass made, and absolutely abysmal on launch. And I said the same thing about Cold War, and I'm here agreeing with you again for Cyberpunk. It should not have launched this way, but it did. And if we're gonna keep looking backwards and not look forwards to what they can improve on, and we're just gonna bitch about the same things even though they come out and apologize, I really don't know what we're wasting our energy on and what the point of doing that is. If it's in the past, it's in the past. Yes, they made a mistake, they fucked up, but they came out and they apologized, and I'm a firm believer in forgiveness. I mean, how could I believe in Christ if I don't believe in forgiveness? So I forgive them. Yes, it's an issue. Yes, it's a problem. But they have come out and said, look, we're going to fix it. We're going to do this stuff. And they even gave people refunds. Yet they're still complaining. They're still whining. And that's because people are looking for reasons to get upset and to whine and to complain. That is just the simple reality of it. And if you're one of those people, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'm not one of those people who are going to pull my punches. I'm not Modern Warfare in the kid scene where you couldn't shoot the kid scene. I'm not in none of that. I'm going to give it to you real as possible, because if I'm not going to be real with you and I'm going to sugarcoat it, I'm not helping you or preparing you to be a better person, and you're not helping me be a better person at all. Moving forward, the next thing that I want to talk about is there's a lot of people just, I don't want to say Twitter, man. I try not to pay attention to Twitter as much as I used to, but on YouTube and articles that I just see, you know, scrolling through the web for Cyberpunk and just trying to stay updated with Cyberpunk and make better videos for you guys, I see a lot of people saying, I remember the time when games launched complete. Like they were just perfect, they never had issues, there were never any problems. One of my favorite games from, I guess you could say, the old generation or the past is Modern Warfare 2. And I'm not even going to use Modern Warfare 2 as much of a reference because that's a multiplayer game, and multiplayer games can be way more buggier than single player games just because of the longevity, the replayability, and how much is really going on in a multiplayer game. And that's also another reason why I'm harsher on multiplayer games than single player games, because when you're playing a multiplayer game, you're fighting for something. You're fighting to put something on. In a single player game, you can easily go back and replay these missions without risking too much, unless you're like a speedrunner or something like that. And again, I play multiplayer games mostly tournament wise, so getting frustrated with the game in that sense, it's pretty valid because there's money on the line, or there's something on the line to earn, there's something to gain, and you want fairness. But with the single player game, and going back to the Modern Warfare 2s in the past with single player games and multiplayer games, they did not launch better than they're launching right now. And the technology has gotten better. There are different challenges, different things, different optimizations that need to happen right now that we didn't have back then. And again, I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying this is the reality of the situation. I don't know what it goes in, or what goes in at all, to developing something on Stadia or GeForce Now, something we didn't even think was possible back in 2008, 2009. And Modern Warfare 2 launched with one of the buggiest ever, and to this day it's still buggy and glitchy as hell. I mean, the reason why we have so much fun on those games is because of bugs and glitches. Sometimes bugs and glitches are really funny, really entertaining, and good for the game. And I want to go to a single player game, and let's compare a single player game from now, Cyberpunk, to a single player game from 2008, 2009, Oblivion. Let's talk about how buggy Oblivion is and how much so many people love Oblivion. I mean, these are games, guys, that are renowned. Now, obviously, before I trigger some people, I know Oblivion was released in 2006. I get this, but it was running its course in 2008, 2009, right before Skyrim was getting ready to be released. So I understand what's going on there, but it's still buggy. That was my point. In 2006, it launched buggy. Halo launched buggy. I don't know if y'all remember Halo 2 and 3. They launched buggy. They were not perfect off the rip. They weren't as broken as Cyberpunk or anything, but they were buggy. They had problems. And this just goes to show who played these games and who didn't play these games. Who's a veteran in the gaming community and who's not. And who has patience with games and who does not. And then you see the little weasels running around who all they do is cry and whine about a video game that they could easily return and just not play. I mean, it's not that hard, guys. Again, I stuck through No Man's Sky. I stuck through No Man's Sky for 4 long years, and it's finally good. And I'm not saying that you have to do that, and I'm not saying we have to wait that long, but this game is nowhere near as bad as No Man's Sky. I don't think it's nowhere near as bad as Skyrim on launch. I don't think this game is even nowhere near as bad as Oblivion on launch. Look, you can have your own opinion, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but not everybody's entitled to their own facts. And the harsh reality is video games are buggy. Video games can be broken. Video games sometimes do not live up to the incredible expectations that you set on them that are just unrealistic. There is no way something this ambitious and this just diverse and as complicated as this game is going to be perfect. It needs work. It needs to be patched. It needs to be updated. But unlike a multiplayer game and unlike something like Activision or Treyarch or Infinity Ward or EA, they are going to fix it. We know this because CDProjektRed's track record. This does not mean they're exempt from criticism. This does not mean we don't need to get in their ass, because we need to stay in their ass. The more we stay in their ass, the more they'll continue to fix this. But when somebody apologizes, when they ask for forgiveness and they promise to fix it, we need to accept their apology. Understand what they went through to make this game, because it was not easy to make this game, especially after this year with a quote-unquote pandemic and a whole bunch of platforms to make it on, which I have never seen so many developers and so many people work together to get it out on so many platforms. Again, guys, it is what it is. The game launched like this. It can only get better from here on out, and I pray that it will get better from here on out, and I have no reason to get upset at them because they've already apologized. Let's move on from this. I'm done talking about this. I'm done addressing this because I've gotten it so much times in my Discord. I've gotten it so much times from people in IRL trying to figure out, do they want to play this game? Should they get this game? And I've gotten it so much times on Twitter, and I'm just tired of looking at it, okay? I'm just over it. We're not going to cover this on the channel no more. Only updates, only positivity from here on out. Let's enjoy a game that's fun to play at its core when it works, and when it gets updated, when it gets fixed, I have no doubt in my mind. And when they add a couple features here and there, I have no doubt in my mind this will be one of the best games that I've ever played. I mean, shit, it already is one of the best games that I've ever played, and it'll be fun for the majority of the people who can get their hands on it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think I'm an idiot? Do you think I'm doing a great job? I don't know. Let me know. And again, I'll always read them, try to read as much as possible. If you want to join the Discord, want to get more interactions, more talk, more discussions about Cyberpunk, join the Discord. We're always talking about it, always posting gameplay, always posting clips. We got a fun, nice, loving community over there. We try to keep it as great and as tight-knit as possible, and of course we always preaching that message of the gospel. Even if you're not a Christian, you don't believe in Christian ideals, come on through, enjoy us, and let's just be humans and enjoy a video game. Most importantly, let's be some gamers. Much love, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you have a wonderful day and a whole lot of fun in the Cyberpunk world. Bless up as always. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.